Wicks messed the route up. He went deep, and they kind of busted the coverage, so he kind of threw a hand up, just playing off schedule. But I'm throwing it to MG, and this was one of those ones where you're like, oh gosh, man, I hope one of these guys catch it because they're about to run into each other. So it's not a fun throw, but you're just hoping one of these guys comes down with it.
Doesn't count. Welcome back. If you can't tell, I'm going to be very critical of Jordan Williams, Jordan, whatever his damn name is. We don't even know his damn name. We're just going to call him Jordan. We're going to be very critical of Jordan because we're a Bears fan, and we're going to bear down at all times on this channel. I promise. So let's go ahead and get into this critical breakdown, see if he's better than Caleb Williams, or if he has any talent at all, besides being a mid-tier quarterback.
Back to another episode of Tape Talk. Today we got the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, the best quarterback in the NFL.
Not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Go ahead and get throughout the season to look at.
Yeah, I think week one's obviously always the toughest game to prepare for because, like you said, you don't have any of that bank film throughout the season. There's new players on the defense. There might be new defense coordinators, so you don't even know what type of defense they might be running. So
that's true.
A lot of the film you do watch during the week is all stuff from the year before, stuff from wherever the coordinator came from. So you might not even be watching some of the guys that might be out there on the field. You might be watching a whole different team.
That's
the coordinator came from a different place. It's always tough. You prepare for all these unscouted looks, and you don't know what you're going to get until you get out there during the game.
How much does preseason play a role?
Sound good. You're not really playing a lot in preseason, so I can't say that it helps you specifically, but we're going to get into these plays.
And 9. And you motion in Kraft here pretty much right as you guys get set. Can you explain what you're looking at as that motion happens, how you're reading the defense, and how you're seeing it as that motion comes in?
Okay.
Yeah, anytime we motion, we're trying to undress the defense, trying to get any type of tell. Is it man? Is it zone? Who's walked out there on the tight end? Defense might be trying to disguise too high and you motion, and now they start kind of showing what the true defense is. So you just try and get any type of tells when you motion a guy.
When you're watching Tucker Kraft motion in, how does that dictate then what you're processing post-snap? Like, does that change after what you're seeing the motion? If you see a certain look, are you now kind of thinking in your head, like, I got to go from this read to this read?
I mean, there's so many things that you're thinking pre-snap. It's all play dependent. Like this play right here was probably a play where we got 2 plays called in the huddle, and we're trying to motion to get that man zone information, 1 high, 2 high information, to decide which play we want to run. And obviously right here we end up running this one based on, they're kind of showing a man look. Obviously the corner's walked out. And so some teams will do that too. They won't even walk a safety out or a linebacker out on a tight end because they don't want to give you that man zone indicator. So they'll kind of adjust, we call it one adjust, how they do it.
I gotcha. So we're going to look at a very similar one of these plays later in the game. I would believe they correlate, but the last question for this play, how does a 7-man protection change your internal clock? Like this one, you've literally got 7 guys blocking for you plus chip help from the running back. Like you gotta know you're gonna have more time, and with that happening, how does it change how you want to play quarterback?
Yeah, I mean like you said, when you got all that.
I also always want to say I want to see the ball again. That was a horrible ball. You could have at least placed it to the sidelines for him, or at least placed it in a better position. You were the reason that the wide receiver couldn't get any yak. I just want to let that be known. We're going to run it back and we're going to look at it one more time. He was in a position that he was perfectly still in a pocket, didn't have any pressure in his face. The only threat he had was this D tackle. That was going to take a while to get there, and he never got there.
Play quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean flat-footed, threw the ball. He is running towards the sideline right now.
Like you said, when you got all that.
He came back. He had to come back and adjust for it. And then by the time he adjusted and catching it, he was behind him. He's trying to contort his body in a way that makes it impossible for him to get yak. That's on you, Jordan Love. That's on you. You need to be better, because if you ever want to stand a chance against the Bears, you got to come with your A game. And this isn't it.
Protection, you understand as a quarterback, we're going to have.
You see what happened in the playoffs.
We should be locked down and pass pro. There should be no issues when they bring any types of pressure, any of those pressure tells. Which linebacker might be coming? Are they both coming? Are they both dropping? So there's so much information you can gain from that pre-snap, and you just want to make sure that you're getting the protection squared away, and you understand where your hots are at, where your best throws are if you do end up being hot.
So kind of like what you were saying on 3rd and long blitzes, for when it's later in the season, you have more film study to be able to know, like in this situation, maybe both of these linebackers are coming. Maybe they're dropping off a defensive end. That's what the film study is super helpful for, like these kind of situations.
Definitely. We'll have a whole breakdown of whatever the down and distance is, 3rd and 7 to 10, 3rd and 4 to 6, and you'll see all the pressure patterns, all the different coverages that the teams ran. So we'll get probably like 20 different looks at this 42 TAA package that they have and all the different pressures they bring. And then you look at the back end, look at the DBs, and try and pick together what kind of defense you're looking at. And right here, I mean, I would guess it's going to be some type of man with pressure.
So this plays into the man coverage. Is this supposed to be a rub concept where, like, when you would motion him out and back in, then like the vertical release here interferes with the corner and he gets open against man coverage, but then they banjoed. Is that what happened here?
Exactly. You're seeing Jay Reed motion back down. We're hoping that the guy that's locked on him will stay with him. We're trying to sell like we're running, a mesh, a drive concept where we're getting a rub by the point guy and making that guy try and play over the top. And actually this concept, we're trying to, have a play off of it where now we're running that kind of whip route. And you want that DB to run over the top thinking he's getting beat. And next thing you know, the receiver's running back out the other way. And he's kind of in no man's land. And obviously, you see right here, they did a great job passing it off. And so
definitely banjoed that. I do want to say it's perfection. That was played to beauty as the way they banjoed it and the way they played it off. That's something you will only see in the NFL. Literally.
Congratulations.
Oh, literally. Because the way that he was able to, like, see the motion, banjo off to know that he has the inside guy, or he has him now because they're moving to the inside. And then he immediately gets attacked by the outside receiver, goes straight for the, I think it was a post that he just ran. And then he really got taken out by that. He was banjoed out. But this person stayed down. And a lot of people aren't going to stay down his whip route either. He was able to lock that down.
You would see, throughout film study that, they pass stuff off when you do motions like this, but we just didn't know.
And then, so when you're seeing stuff like that, I notice you immediately see as soon as it seems like as soon as they banjo, bang, you're on to your second progression or whatever it might be. Can you explain how important it is to be able to process that kind of information at that speed?
Yeah, it's very important. I think just being able to get through progressions in the NFL with, some real deal pass rushes is super critical. And like you said, this concept right here, we didn't get what we wanted. So understanding the offense, understand what we're trying to accomplish, you can see right away, all right, they've got this concept glove. So let me get off my first and second read and get backside here to be able to let this basic win.
Right.
Now, at this point,
I will say that was a good read. It was a good throw. I'll definitely give you that on this play. I'm not here just to doo-doo on you the whole time. I'm going to keep it real, but I'm also going to have my opinions about this state of play.
Jacobs ends up getting matched up against Anzalone in man coverage. Were you seeing that man coverage pre-snap? And if so, why don't you hit Jacobs here? Because to me, it seems like this route concept would work really well against man coverage when you got a linebacker on Jacobs. But I mean, obviously, there was no issue here. You got a touchdown.
You know why you don't do that, nerd? Let me rewind it for you, nerd. Because right here, you have a running back on a linebacker. Yes, he might make that catch, but the way the route's going, he is sticky. So now you're expecting this running back to make like a back shoulder or a high point. That's a 50-50 ball. I'm gonna throw to my big body tight end over the middle. That's gonna dump and baptize this boy and baptize him and get down and take the hit from him. That's a better ball than him getting met at the pylon in the end zone and then getting, possibly getting hit, possibly catching, possibly not. We're going to throw it to our big body tight end every time. Nerd. You're a stat nerd. Let's be honest. That's why he did that.
There was no issue here. You got a touchdown, but just kind of take me through that.
Yeah, pre-snap, like you said, we motioned Josh out real quick to just get another feel. What are the linebackers doing? Are they trying to match him and run with him on the motion? Is a DB moving out and then it's going to be a zone coverage? Just trying to get a pre-snap, what's going on. And these motions are so crucial at that. And then you see Josh motions back, get set, and now I'm like, all right, I kind of got a feel for what we're getting here. Let's send him again, get this play going. And then the concept here, I'm actually pretty much reading it inside out. So I'm starting with Tucker to Wicks on the post and then to Josh. So, I'm not immediately going,
exactly,
all right, Josh went on this route. I'm reading it just inside out, kind of keying that post safety that's over the top of them. And just trying to let him make a decision and let the routes go in.
So he made a decision. Went to the outside.
This ends up essentially
being crazy. Like that little millisecond that he moved, that fraction of movement that he made, let him know he committed to this outside route. And this was going to be good over the top for a touchdown. That's crazy. The level of thought processing they have to do in like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. You know, it's really crazy, and I respect it to the highest level. And that because especially talking about why are you not throwing to Josh Jacobs? This isn't Madden, bro. You're not gonna go over top and just moss him, and dog him out every time. Come on, let's use our heads. Tight end, touchdowns. Running back,
You're primarily reading this deep safety, and like if he were to super aggressively drive on Kraft like right about now, then you're working to Wicks and then Jacobs.
Exactly. I mean, we're kind of getting a quarters man, 2-manish look here. So this play is really great versus, quarters. You're trying to just read that safety over the top of these routes. And is he going to grab Tucker? Then it kind of opens up for that post over the top. If he stays soft on the post, then you got Tucker. And Tucker did a great job being able to get over top of that linebacker and really bend his route back in. So I got a spot to throw it.
Heck of a ball, heck of a catch.
definitely.
All right, so now
Yeah,
I was interested to see this play because I can't tell what you're pointing out here. Are you pointing out the backer or the safety here on this one? They end up rotating I mean, he goes way back, and then they end up rotating this safety back. This is an interesting defense. I want to understand what you're seeing pre-snap, and are you able to even share kind of what you're calling out here?
Yeah, so pre-snap, I'm kind of feeling the rotation, what's going on here. I do use my hard count, and I felt we're getting pressure over here on the right side. So the point out I'm doing is actually a protection adjustment where we're miking Anzalone, the backer, and then, we're able to get the back running over there on Branch. So we're able to pick this. It's like the perfect protection call for this blitz. We're able to pick it up perfectly. And then that's another thing. You feel they're trying to show a one high look. You see how soft the nickel is over there to the field. So that's kind of a giveaway. All right, we're getting pressure here opposite, and they're going to be dropping to some type of 2B, 44B coverage here.
Okay, so then based off of that information, now you know that since he's bailing out, bang, you want to zip it into the seam?
Yeah, so Jay Reed's pretty much running a read route. You're trying to run it off the safety.
You see how fast he has to make that read, though? Like, he has to literally make that throw now and make that read now. It's really easy when the safety's back is completely turned to the play. Definitely easy, but it's just crazy. Like, that's what he's got. If he misses that window, the play is over because he's covered one guy. It may be him, possibly, but he's probably covered too.
Yeah, so Jay Reed's pretty much running a read route. You're trying to run it off the safety that's over the top of you. And once you feel that nickel getting deep and sinking, he's just going to keep that thing nice and vertical, exactly like he's doing. If it was a post safety, like if you go back to the beginning, when it's post safety, he's thinking I'm trying to cut across to the opposite hash in front of that post safety, but he doesn't. This is why coverage recognition is so important for the receivers to understand. We're not getting one high. We're getting some sort of disguise, mask, shell coverage here.
Oh, I gotcha. So
Right.
if
and that's definitely a point of having good receivers. The average receiver and the wide receiver, get tongue tied. The average wide receiver in the NFL should be able to do that. So we're not gonna give them too much praise. But I feel like Jordan Love has passed my assessment for today. We're gonna give him a B because so we can give Caleb an A. Because when Caleb does this, he's gonna knock it out the park with the plays that he makes.